You return a lot of core pieces, but how are you going to focus on developing the people behind them?
Oh yeah, that's been a big focus all the way going back to January. So putting the pressure on those younger guys that it's time to go. And we pride ourselves on development. Coach Bates does a tremendous job giving us as assistants the opportunity to teach. We make time available in the off season and spring ball and summer to make sure as assistant coaches we're available to teach and let those guys come in. And as you know, everyone learns differently, but finding different things to work on all year round. And so those guys know that they need to come. And I think we had a good developmental period in spring ball. It's good to see some guys step up and do some good things, but it needs to take that next step in this fall camp as we go into the season.
What's your philosophy when it comes to rotation? Are you planning on sticking with the solid three, or because you have so many people to pull from, are you planning to rotate a little bit more?
Yeah, I'm a big believer that playing time is earned, and I think as you move your pieces around, we always want the best three on the field. But at some point, if one of those pieces at 80% isn't as good as the fourth guy, that fourth guy should go in so that we're keeping our best three on the field. And I think as guys aren't playing time, it keeps the other guys fresh and the whole core becomes more productive. And so look at the last few years, we've had guys be 50% rotators. I mean, you look at last year, Braylon and Heen played almost 50-50, and both of them were very productive in that role. So now they're both looking to both be starters and take on a bigger load compared to maybe Kyle last year, who started the majority, took maybe a series off each half to stay fresh for the duration of each half. But he had earned that and separated himself a little bit. So my philosophy is best players play, but the more guys who can earn and prove that they belong out there, I think it makes the whole core better, makes our defense better, makes our team better.
At the end of spring, it was talked about that Jeremiah Marcellin was right on Braylon Lovelace's heels for that third spot. Coach just mentioned Braylon kind of as a solid number 3. What did you see from both of them, but specifically Braylon, to kind of set himself apart to earn that spot?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to need both those guys. I've said that before. I'll continue to say it, and I think Jeremiah has done a tremendous job. I'm going to start with him first. As the younger guy, proving that he can lead a defense from the Mike linebacker position. He prepares his tail off. He's always ready to go, has questions. The guys know they can trust him and lean on him. And then you look at Braylon, who's a guy who, as we talked about, played a lot of football last year. So he's more experienced, been in the fire more. I think he had a very productive spring. And I think the good thing for us is, although they play the same position, and they're capable of playing others, but playing the same position right now, they're different ball players. So they give us a little bit different skill set when they're in there. So that's something we can play with situationally if it leads to.
We've talked to Kyle a lot about, his work off the field, in the film room. What maybe, he just seems like he's done already so much that led to last season. What maybe have you seen that he's done maybe even more so or a little bit differently this year that could lead to more production on the field?
So Kyle's always been the guy who's here early watching film, and he was here again at 5:45 a.m. The difference this year versus last year he was alone. This year at 5:45 there were 6 other guys with him, which is cool.
Yeah, I heard him talking to some guys about, hey, you want to go hit the film room?
That's right. And so because he's earned that, guys want to go watch film with him and see what he sees and take those extra steps, to try to get better, which is really cool. The other thing, I think, last year it was kind of, he was unproven. And needed to prove himself a little bit, but he still plays with that chip on his shoulder, even though he's proven. He wants to be better, still wants to be the best in the world, best in the country, and so that he hasn't lost that, even though he's achieved some things, which is pretty cool to see.
Now he's the starter at Star. What's it looking like behind him? Because I know there's a couple guys that, at least in spring, were there with Cam and Jaden as well. What's it looking like right now?
Yeah, I think you mentioned the 2 guys that are pushing for some time behind him, Jaden Bonsu and Cameron Lindsay. Start with Cameron. Cameron had a great spring, and he's worked hard all summer. He's lean, he's efficient, he's moving well, and so obviously just one practice in, A lot more to be seen, but excited about where he's at. And I think Cam's a guy who's always been physical, has always been athletic, but the mental side of the game is starting to slow down, which is enabling him to do some things even faster, anticipation and make plays. So excited to see how he produces throughout fall camp. And then Jaden Bonsu, again, transitioned from safety at Ohio State to linebacker at Pitt. So some learning curve there through the winter and spring and summer, but I think he's there now, and I'm excited to see. I think he's got a lot to continue to grow and prove to himself, prove to his peers, and prove to us what he's capable of doing, but he flashes at time, which is exciting. And so both those guys, talk about development, they need to come these next 24 practices of fall camp. But I think they will. They're on the right trajectory.
In the spring, Pat talked about just the talent that's at linebacker unit, the options you guys have. You talked about third down, maybe we'd see 4 linebackers on the field. Is that a possibility, you think, this year?
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, it's always a delta as a reward, right? We talk about stopping the run on normal downs and getting to a chance where it's third and long. We get our best pass rushers on the field, our best cover guys, whoever that may be, whatever room that may be. And so specifically that Delta star position could be a safety, could be a linebacker, it could be a corner. In 2021, we won the ACC. It was John Patrician who was in the linebacker room but had transitioned from safety. So it's not unheard of that it be a linebacker. And certainly Kyle has the skill set to do that. We'll have to continue to play with the pieces and see what's best for us. But he's certainly capable of that.